Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? I am a Nigerian man and you can call me pastor, or I am a pastor, like in real life, I am a pastor. I went to Bible college, studied very well, and then I became a pastor. But I feel like even though I am a pastor, but it is not working out. I honestly thought that in each and everything that I was doing, I was helping God, but God has since refused to help me, because when I was in college, I used to see all of those pastors that had big churches, big mansions, and I said, in order for me to have a big church, what am I supposed to do? That was when I became friends with another man who told me that he had worked with this other prophet before, just before that prophet had became wealthy and he had started a very big church. He said there was this other day when he was told that he was supposed to go to the market. He went to this other market and he collected two boys, and when he collected those two boys, they brought those boys before that prophet, and then those boys, they were given food to eat, and later on he said that the prophet slept with those two boys, and within a very short period of time at his church he started performing miracles. That man, he then left the country. He is doing his trade and running his business of the church in another country, and that is how he is making his own money. So it inspired me, because when we sat down, as he was telling me about this, he told me that he was told by the prophet that it was the only way that you can ever attract people. When you want to attract people, you need to have the spirit like a magnet. When you are more like a magnet, then people would bring themselves to you, not only to you, but to also bring money to you. You will need to have that spirit. So I said, I need this spirit. And then he told me that unfortunately, when he tried to perform those rituals, he did not have money. And that was why he was telling me. He knew that I had some connections with this other elder brother of mine who was an armed robber. He was part of a gang when he was also in university. He said, how about you speak with your brother so that he can give us a connection and we can get some money? So I spoke with my brother. He borrowed us some money, and I told him that when he needed my services, then I was willing to be with him, and we would go and then we would rob whomever that we were supposed to rob. So I became a pastor, and I went and I did some rituals. So when we did these rituals, we summoned spirits, the spirits to make you heal, to curse your enemies. When I say to curse your enemies, usually when you are a pastor, your enemies are those that want to expose you, and you have to curse them, even if before they even think about exposing you, to curse them and their children with madness or a disease. And I thought that starting a church, a big church, was the easiest way to riches, because I had seen other men of God in their big suits. I always wanted to have a convoy, bodyguards with guns, riding into church, riding expensive cars, even flying on a private jet. That was always my dream. But no matter what I have done, my church is refusing to grow. No matter how many rituals that I have performed, I am remaining poor. And now, because of my brother's connections, he said that he can help me. He said, since you do not have money, maybe I can assist you with a plan. How about you go to Singapore? I said, what am I supposed to do in Singapore? He said that he knows this other man, and it is a dangerous mission to go there as a drug mule, to carry drugs to Singapore, and I am scared. Well, this is my story. So when we were still growing up back in the rural areas of Umaku, and I used to see this other traditional healer who had a shrine. So at his shrine, there were people that would come from different places, and then when they would return back to thank him, these men, they would be having money, driving cars, and I always wondered how they used to do it. But still, I could not return back there to ask a traditional healer from the same village in which I grew up in. It was impossible, but I did my rituals here in Lagos. I was told to find a dog, so I found a dog and I brought it to the shrine. Like a god, I was told to slaughter that god, and I did not know that it was me slaughtering my own mother. After my mother had passed away, in the meantime, the healer had ignored me. I then returned back to the village. When I returned back to the village, that was when I was told to go into the city, and I had to sleep by force. I had to find prostitutes. I found prostitutes. For 3 days, I was patrolling the streets of Lagos and just sleeping with women by force. And I was told that each and every time after I would have slept with a prostitute by force, when she would cry, when she would curse me, it will mean that people would be blessing me when I will start my own church. I was told to sleep with 2 mad women. And these 2 mad women, they were going to represent 10 years each, which means 20 years of glory of me running my church without any scandals at all. And like those mad women, the people that would come to my church, mostly women, they would defend me like no man's business, even if they see that I am in the wrong. No matter what would be said about me, they will always defend me because they will be like mad women. So I slept with those 2 mad women and I got my 20 years of wealth. But now I really do not know what am I supposed to do after I had sacrificed my mother. I was told that I have to sacrifice one of my uncles as well, whom I used to call my father, and I sacrificed him, and I thought that now everything is going to work out. I returned back to Lagos with a small bag that was full of the soil that I had been told to gather from the grave, but still it did not even work out. My dream was to start a mega church and become one of the richest pastors here in Nigeria. But the church, it is not growing. It is not growing at all. I want my church right now to grow. So I really do not know what am I supposed to do. I have nothing. My bank account is empty. My congregation is too small. My miracles, they are not working. Even if I lay hands on someone, nothing happens. Even though my uncle, whom I called my father, passed away, even though my mother passed away, but it is not working. I have been told again and again, sacrifice a black hen at the pulpit. I have done it so many times. I have called the spirits even using palm oil, even sleeping at this other shrine. And on the 7th night, I was told that I am going to become rich, but it is not working. So right now, my elder brother with these connections is saying that these people nowadays, they only want to associate themselves with rich pastors. So since your church is not growing, maybe if I connect you, you can go to Singapore and then you can carry some stuff. And I know that the stuff, it is drugs. He said, go to Singapore, forget for now about this nonsense, and you will make big money. When you return back with big money, then at least you can sponsor yourself and you can even pay people to come to your church. Very soon, your church will be big. Just do this. So I don't know, should I take a flight to Singapore? And I'm scared that if I go there, if I get arrested, it will be a bad decision that I would have taken. But if I win, I would have won. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our brother right there. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Your